Google's powerful Gemini 3 AI capabilities are now embedded within Gmail, and I'm going to show you all of the various ways that you can use it to streamline your workflow, to be a bit more creative, to save time, and I'll also cover some of the shortcomings that it still has. So without further ado, let's dive in. So the first thing to note is I am on the Pro work plan as far as Google Gemini is concerned, and I believe I pay $20 a month currently. So the first really helpful feature that I wish to showcase is the Summarize feature with Gemini. You can select on any email in your inbox, so let's say this last one right here. And this is a conversation that I was having with a potential client for an AI presentation for their firm. And you can see here that there is an AI overview detailing the entire email thread. There can be hundreds of replies and messages here. It digests all of it and summarizes it very neatly for you. If you don't wish to see it, you can simply click anywhere on the AI overview at the top, and all of a sudden you'll see that it minimized this option here. Something else really helpful to point out is we see that my presentation is scheduled for February 18th from 3:30 p.m. to 5:30 p.m. If I desire to do so, I can go ahead and select Add to Calendar, and this will go ahead and import this date into my Google Calendar and section off 3:30 p.m. to 5:30 p.m. on February 18th. Now, you don't always see this Add to Calendar option right here. Gemini was smart enough to realize that there is a date booked, so it went ahead and gave me that option. Now, if I don't see this option or I want to ask something further about this conversation, I simply hover over this Ask Gemini icon up here, and then I have to select it. And here Gemini gives me some options of what I can do. For instance, it could summarize this email in more detail. It can add to calendar from this email. So I will ask Add to Calendar and title it AI Presentation for Bergen County Law Firm. I will send it through. Look at how helpful this is. Not only did Gemini schedule this in our Google Calendar, but I can also go ahead and edit the event. I simply click the pencil icon and I can edit it in any which way I please. Incredibly helpful. Now, I do have to say that in testing Gemini 3, it definitely goes far beyond simple text generation. It understands context and nuance better than the previous versions. So when drafting an email, so let's say I wish to respond to the same thread that I have been showcasing, and over here you see that once I have the option to reply and start writing, there is a magic pencil icon here that says Alt plus H to help me write. So if I go ahead and select Alt and H, you will see that now there's a text box right here where I can prompt Gemini 3 to help me write something. So here I will specify write a reply to this thread confirming the meeting and asking if the staff would like to join me for dinner afterwards at a nearby restaurant. I can then select Create. And here it says, "Hi Leon, I'm looking forward to the presentation on Wednesday, February 18th from 3:30 p.m. to 5:30 p.m. After the staff training, I would love to treat your staff to dinner at a nearby restaurant. Please let me know if they would be interested in joining." Now, this is a surprise because Gemini 3 has been performing very well when I was using it. However, when I'm trying to show it to you live right now, you can see that it made a terrible error. It is suggesting that I'm offering to pay for the entire staff dinner, and that is not what I had asked for. You can see up here that what I had asked for is if they would like to join me for dinner afterwards at a nearby restaurant, not that I'm treating the staff to dinner at a nearby restaurant. So I am upset as far as nuance goes and understanding, but this is just to show sometimes these AI tools can hallucinate and you have to double check the work. You can't just trust it outright. You have to verify that it's giving you exactly what you're hoping for. So in parentheses, I put here, I don't want to treat them to dinner, just join them for dinner. I'll select Update. And now it says, "Hi Leon, wonderful. I'm looking forward to the staff training presentation on Wednesday, February 18th from 3:30 p.m. to 5:30 p.m. Since I will be in the area, would your staff be interested in grabbing dinner at a nearby restaurant afterwards? I'd enjoy joining them if they are planning to go out." This is great. I actually like how this turned out. So I will select insert, and this is such a good learning lesson to point out that when you're communicating with these AI systems, in the prompt, you have to give them a lot of direction so that you will get the desired result. If you just specify something simply, it might go ahead and get a little bit creative with it, as it did in the last example, and that would have cost me a pretty penny. So now I want to demonstrate some other advanced writing and editing capabilities from Gemini, and I've mentioned in the past that you can simply use the shortcut Alt+H, but also you'll notice that when you're writing an email, on the bottom has that magic pencil icon that if you select it, it will take you to the same exact place. And so here I will say a thank you letter for allowing me to present the art of the artificial, and then I will explain what the actual presentation was about to a group of very engaged musicians, artists, and philosophers. And I also state that I really appreciated the smooth setup process and hospitality. I will click create. And here's where Gemini shines. So take a look at this. Dear recipient name, I am writing to express my sincere gratitude for the opportunity to present the art of the artificial. I greatly appreciated the chance to share this exploration of how AI is reshaping creativity from generative composition to visual innovation, yada, yada, yada. It did a really good job writing this up. Something I want to point out right off the bat is the M dash. These M dashes here are a dead giveaway that you are copying and pasting utilizing these AI tools. So make sure to actually remove M dashes, include something else, comma, regular dash, semicolon, whatever you want to do. But just understand that anyone below the age of 40 knows that anything with an M dash is more likely than not created with AI, because it's incredibly difficult for the human to replicate an M dash from their mobile device or their desktop device. Here's another really cool thing that you can do with Gemini. You can select under Refine, you can select Elaborate. What this will do is it will expand and make the actual reply a little bit more lengthy and have a little more detail there. You can then ask to shorten it, and you will see that it goes ahead and shortens the reply for us. Also, if I am writing to a very formal institution or organization and I want it to sound very businesslike, I can formalize this. And now you can see that it has more of a professional tone, which is helpful. And if we don't like it, we can always select Recreate on the bottom left-hand side, and it will once again recreate the response. Now again, these AI platforms are always looking to improve. So if you like the actual generated response, give it a thumbs up. If you dislike it, then give it a thumbs down. And if you want to report abuse, you can do that as well if it gives you something that is horrendous or very alarming. Once you're happy with what you have, you simply select Insert, and now you will see that it inserts it into your writing area in your Gmail email situation right here. And then you could go ahead and send it through. And also, I always like to mention that if you hit the drop down here, you can actually schedule send an email, which means you can send it tomorrow, you can send it a month from now, 2 months from now. You can select the time that the actual email will go out. I do that all the time because I work very deep into the night. I go to sleep obnoxiously late, and I don't want to email clients at 1:30 a.m. or 2 a.m. I would rather them receive it at like 9:45 a.m. or 10:30 a.m., something that feels and looks a little more professional. I also want to point out that Gemini 3 has a lot of agentic and workflow capabilities. This is arguably the biggest leap forward. For instance, it can follow along multi-step agentic tasks. So maybe you're receiving a ton of junk mail from someone. You can ask Gemini to throw things into the spam folder or to archive certain emails that you're not interested in. You can also, once you're having a conversation, say schedule a lunch with this person next week based on our email exchange. The very last thing I want to mention here is when you go to the Ask Gemini feature, what you can do is you can select the @ symbol, and then you could pull up any document. So in my case, I pulled up successful presentation, and then I can ask questions. So I could say, what is my total revenue for the month of November? Or I could say, what was the average price that I charged for cybersecurity presentations during 2025? And it will go ahead and it will pull up that information. So I really like where Google is going with integrating all of these AI capabilities within Gmail and its suite of tools within Google Workspace accounts. It's doing a really good job, and we're only getting started. I can only imagine what Gemini 6, Gemini 7, Gemini 12 is going to be able to do. So with that being said, let me know in the comment section, are you using Gemini 3 within Gmail? How's it working out for you? Do you think that it's a really helpful tool, or at this stage of the game, is it hot garbage? Let me know in the comment section. Let me know which AI platform you wish for me to create a tutorial on next, and I hope to see some of you in the next video.